Alright, so what's up YouTube? It's the Nights in here, back with another video. And this video is going to be about how the ego is the great deceiver. My bad, that light fucking around it, fucking with me. But yeah, the ego is the great deceiver, right? I think for baseline understanding your ego, it's like the identifier of life, right? They say, like, think about it like this: who named the tree a tree? A human individual did, and that had to deal with being in a 3D type of existence and having to label things, and just for, coming to these, like, kind of these like man-made agreements so that everybody's on one page, and it allows society, or the system, to move efficiently, let's say that. And then you go deeper into the ego and just these identifiers, and it's full personalities, it's energy behind these things. It's like, take your ego, right? Your ego wants to be comfortable. It wants to feel good about itself, so it will lie to you. It will make you feel, like you do no wrong, and it's really doing you harm. And anyway, that's why people always say you're supposed to kill the ego. You're never supposed to allow the ego to ever get. You never should allow your intellect to really sway what you do. Now, I'm not saying you don't use you know, you don't use intelligence, you don't use your intellect. You don't strictly rely on your intellect, because your intellect will lead you astray. Intellect is fairly young in terms of your instincts and your intuition and your intellect. Intellect is probably the youngest one out of all, in my opinion, and just my own kind of thought process about it. So you have to learn how to be able to use your intuition, your instincts, and your intellect, and your intelligence is like wisdom. It's like, it's like, well, I'm bad. No. Your intelligence is more about your intellect and your instincts being, mixed in together. So it's not the problem that you use intellect, is that you over rely on it too much. But intellect also has to do with, like, your ego as well. Because let's be honest, we know people that, they get some type of information, and now they grow big-headed, they grow egotistical, and now they think that they better than other people. Like, no animal that's purely relying off of instincts, they're better than any animal. It's just a simple food chain. An animal is on this, certain aspect of the, I forgot what they call them, the food chain, and they abide by it. Just like how an insect may be a food to, like, a smaller, animal, but a smaller animal is, food to a bigger animal. It's like a chain of command that, it's natural. It's like the natural sense of life. I think how they speak about how humans are like the apex predator is kind of like that. But your ego is always lying to you. Like, literally, your ego will do anything to make you feel okay about certain things. And that shit is evil. I ain't even gonna lie to you. It's been many times in my life where people left me. People left me, about to say, or I did fucked up shit, and my mind is trying to find a way to justify it, so I don't feel so bad about the wrong shit that I done. It'll make your ego will make you feel like, it's somebody else's loss, or or in a sense where it will make people feel like, damn, like, it'll make your ego will make you feel superior to somebody else, because let's say they may be going through X, Y, or Z, and you have to learn to shut that aspect of your ego down, because that's very destructive. It's so evil to the extent of, like, it has no compassion in it. It has no understanding. It's just simply like a selfish thing that only allows for you to stay comfortable inside your own self-delusions. And it took me a while to even realize that, even, like, just going through my own journeys. Like, sometimes my ego would be like, it allowed me to be comfortable enough where I wasn't doing any work. And just because I was thinking about doing work, or I got the right idea, I'm not putting in no actual actions or effort into trying to make a X, Y, or Z happen. My ego was trying to soothe me, and that's where I had to learn how to stop paying attention to, like, the internet and shit like that, and looking for our validation. Because looking for our validation and, like, being egotistical is kind of like hand in hand. Like, some people only do that. Some people are very egotistical because they want the validation, and that's like, more than likely a way that the egos of course the ego is never really satisfied, but that's a way that the validation can get satisfied momentarily. But I had to realize, like, damn, like, my ego would just stop me from being who I really was, like the best of myself, but also who I truly was. Because the ego, like I said, it lies to you. It puts this fake, diluted version of yourself, and it's always, it's a narrative that's keep being reflected back to yourself, and it's wrong. It's wrong, and it's this story that you've been telling yourself your whole life. So you have to learn how to take control of that view and that narrative and flip it in the way that you truly want to, the way that your soul intended that, perspective to really be, and not a negative perspective that, your upbringing and your trauma infused with your ego is trying to push inside your mind and into your mental vision. And that's a deceiving aspect of it. It deceives you. It makes you think that, it's okay to be a certain type of way just because it is happened. And it leaves zero room for anybody to ever improve or make any differences within themselves. And it calls for people to have a lack of, responsibility within themselves, because that's really what it comes down to. Like, if you can't be responsible for yourself, you can't really be responsible for anything that's outside of yourself. So, yeah. Yeah, the ego is a tricky motherfucker. That shit's crazy. It's been many times I'm just thinking, like, where by me being egotistical, I'm like, and me having my own head, like, stick up my ass, I'm like, dog, like, it's just so twisted and it's so messed up. It's like, it's so condescending as well that people, like, we even think like that, and people ain't worth shit. People don't even stick to their word, and especially people with no character thinking like that. Like, that's how it was. I think I had zero character when I was younger, and then some shit that I did, and I had the audacity to think like that. It be blowing me now when I look back on it, but this is just a circle of life, About you gotta go through life to really, you gotta go through it to get to it, So the ego is the great deceiver. Don't allow it to deceive you into, and keep you trapped in negative ways of existence and being. So if y'all like the video, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see y'all later. Thank you.